What's up everybody, it's Cheyenne. A couple of weeks ago I did a reaction video for the Gem and the Holograms trailer. Spoiler alert, I was not excited about it. I've been reading a lot of the coverage of that particular trailer and people's reactions to it. It's been getting compared a lot to a certain movie in a negative context that is just not cool with me. And as it's one of my favorite movies, I figured that it was time for me to talk about that next so that we can look at the movie that the Gem movie could have been. The Josie and the Pussycats movie is one of those movies. It was not very well received when it came out. It didn't perform very well at the box office. It wasn't reviewed very well. And I will never understand why. Because it is a fun, silly movie. In my personal opinion, it's the best movie of its kind, of the like, let's bring a cartoon to live action in the modern era. So the story of the Josie and the Pussycats movie is about Josie, played by Rachel Lee Cook, and the other Pussycats, which are Mel, played by Tara Reid, and Val, played by Rosario Dawson. Be Still My Heart. So there's a struggling little band, and they meet Alan Cumming, who works for Mega Records, and he immediately signs them to a record deal. Hasn't heard a word of their music. It's a story of their rise to fame and stardom, and fame tearing them apart, but little do they know that they're really pawns in Mega Records' plan to use their music to put subliminal advertising into records to make the teenagers of America buy things so that it will help the American economy. Yeah. As silly and zany as that premise sounds, it's definitely got the proper tone. It's very tongue-in-cheek, it's very self-aware, and it's also very true to the tone of the 60s cartoon, because let's not forget, in the 60s cartoon they were a band that drove around and solved mysteries. Seriously. Obviously it's updated, it's set in the early 2000s as opposed to the 60s, which Archie Comics is kind of weird about time period, but you know. So there's a lot of things that are changed and a lot of things that are updated. Like for some reason Ellen M is a Beck copy-paste, which I find really funny. But for the most part, all of the characters' personalities are intact. Everybody's performing their parts sincerely, even though the film is self-aware and tongue-in-cheek, and there's some fourth wall breaking, but it never feels too precious to me. It never feels like it thinks it's too clever. It treats the characters with respect and sincerity while also being aware of what it is. It knows it's a silly, fun, dumb movie. It's not trying to be anything other than a silly, fun, dumb movie. But it does have a little bit more going on than I think people think, because it's about the way that we let others tell us what to think. It also has really great music. I own the soundtrack. I play it all the time. It's just really fun, peppy, like punk pop. It's very silly, but it knows it's silly. It embraces its silliness. It's kind of campy. I mean, any movie that has Alan Cumming and Parker Posey in it is gonna be campy. One thing that I feel I should mention, because I've seen this a lot in the comments on my gym video, campy is not a bad word. Lots of amazing films are campy. You know, The Wizard of Oz is campy. And The Wizard of Oz is one of the best films ever made in like movie history. So it's campy in the best ways. It's campy in the fun ways. So yeah, if you're like me and you aren't super excited about the Gem movie anymore, I would definitely recommend watching the Josie and the Pussycats movie, just to see sort of how it could have been done well, even with the same basic building blocks. Because really, when you look at the two in terms of what the trailer for the Gem movie is showing right now, I have to stress that they appear to have very similar plots, but the difference is in, number one, in the characters. The Josie and the Pussycats movie does try to take its characters seriously, and also tries to stay true to their personalities in the cartoon. Number two, in tone. They have the same basic plot, same basic building blocks as of right now. Gem movie is doing those pieces in a joyless, angsty, no fun looking way from the trailer. And the Jem movie does them in a fun, silly, cute, heartwarming, self-aware way. I feel like it's definitely the type of movie that the Jem movie could have been, even with the exact same script and plot. It'd still be a movie that's fun and enjoyable, and it's not doing that. So, you know, maybe watch the Josie and the Pussycats movie and pretend that it's Jem. Oh, also the Josie and the Pussycats movie actually used its theme song, so there's that. Alright, bye!